In the wake of the London terror attacks, governments around the world have been offering their condolences, but also condemning the attacks. Joining me to discuss this is MSNBC analyst and senior diplomatic correspondent with the Al Hayat newspaper, Raghida Dergham. Good afternoon, Raghida. Nice of you to join us, as always.
Thank you, Alex. Thank you very much.
You know, some of these governments, Raghida, that have condemned the attacks, they're also the same ones who've condemned some of England's policies, particularly in terms of Iraq. Does this surprise you?
No, the debate goes on in any Arab capital or within the Arab world, just as it does in London. If you take a look at the British press, you will see that they are debating the issue. They're speaking of the Iraq element in the war on terrorism, whether the war on terrorism, like the President Bush likes to say, this is about taking the terrorism away from cities here in the United States into Iraq. That is one way he justifies the war in Iraq. Now they are saying the same thing in London. They're saying, what about the other way, now that terrorism struck the very heart of their beloved city, London? That is to say, did their participation in the Iraq war bring terror to them in London?
Raghida, some are speculating about al-Qaeda's strategy. Really, they've been scratching their heads about what they were trying to accomplish. What has the reaction been to the timing of targeting London now? Does it have anything to do with the announcement of the Olympic Games being honored to them just the day before? Was there too much planning involved to have that be a factor?
I think the latter. I think it's too much planning involved. It may have coincided with the G8 summit on purpose, but I think in terms of London getting the Olympics bid, I think they're not that organized. In the final analysis, they further isolated themselves with this attack on London. I don't think these terrorists won any heart, not in the Arab world anyway, and certainly not in the West. I don't think they won any points. In fact, they lost a lot, because right now you will hear a call to mobilization against them, and a very strong one. Many of us columnists have been writing this for a year or two or three, but you will hear right now a chorus, if you will, of columnists and commentators in the Arab world, in the Islamic world, saying enough. And I think there are calls for organized mobilization against the terrorists, because otherwise it is the public that's going to pay the price.
Yeah, columnists and the like reporters such as yourself doing that, but would you say that extends to the general population, the Arab moderates? They're echoing those same sentiments?
Certainly. There has been a battle, a real battle going on, a war going on between the moderates in the Arab world and the extremists. Unfortunately, we do not hear of it much on American media, not on television anyway. But this has been a very strong war that's going on. What the moderates say about American policies, they say, equip us, give us, strengthen us, do not strengthen the argument of the extremists by addressing the policies that are meeting criticism amongst the public, and at least just fair policies. But the problem is that there is a conception or a misconception here in the States, particularly in the media, I fear to say, that puts the Arabs in sort of like one lump. In a way, it's like those terrorists, those Arabs, which is totally wrong, because the enemy is it's the enemy of both Americans and Arabs. It's the same enemy, and I think we'll be shooting ourselves in the foot in the States here if we continue to disregard the importance of having as an ally the moderates of the Arab world, the moderates of Muslims in this war against the extremists. It's an essential alliance that we should pay attention to.
Point well said and point well taken. Raghida Dergham, thank you as always for joining us.
Thank you, Alex.
Melissa.